Well, let's see if anybody's out there today in this lousy weather. I guess we got lousy weather on the East Coast. I don't know where you are, but it probably isn't too much better. It's that time of year, and the time of year where Florida people look at weather forecasts every minute. My folks used to live down there before they passed, and boy, that was just like a hobby for those people. You know, every day, how big, how much. They follow it, and with all the technology available and stuff like that. And thank God they lived on the second or third floor, and so they didn't have to worry about floods like they do down now. But this is how I learned more about government programs. Was my family was caught in Flood Agnes, I think was the name, like back in the 70s in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I mean, it wiped out the whole town, wiped out my parents' home, the business, everything, the whole, and we just went up there for 2 weeks and shoveled dirt out of the house and mud and stuff like that. They never moved back in. The government paid for it all. It was amazing. The government gave money for business, money for a house, everything. And that's the first time I learned about the power of all this money that could help people that's sitting there in government offices that people don't know because we're not taught. You know, we're not taught how to do this, and we always think it's some hocus pocus or whatever. But it's not hocus pocus. It's only hocus pocus to you if you never did it before. You never drove a car before, right? And you figured out how to do that. You never used a computer before, right? And you figured out how to do that. That's why there is no hocus pocus to anything in life. You just have to just go do it and fail a few times and keep doing it. And that's why, actually that experience that I saw, that how it turned a whole, city all around, man, because of all the money that my parents lived in a trailer on a golf course, because that's the only property they could have. Nobody was playing golf anyway. The whole town was shut down. And that's why these are programs there to help people. We decide to do that. You don't have to decide whether they're right or wrong. They're there. So you're not going to get rid of them. You can, and that's through your elected official. But that's a different story. I don't care about whether these programs are good or bad. I'm just trying to show people who need them to be able to take advantage of them. And that's the important thing. Because this is like oil under the ground. You know, if you were sitting on an oil well, wouldn't you want to know that you could dig out that sucker and be a millionaire? Well, that's how I sort of see this. This is stuff that's sitting right underneath our noses. We don't know it. It's a little more complicated than we're used to. But like anything, anybody could use it. Look at all the idiots that are getting this stuff. It's obvious it doesn't take a mental genius to do this. Like anything. Look at all the idiots that run businesses and do anything. It's just perseverance and time. I sort of feeling now that we want things so quickly. Life changes fast, so we're so worried about everything going by so quickly when we're losing out or whatever. And that's not how to really get the best out of life and not have a blood pressure problem, but to get the most out of what's there. If you're looking for something, like money or whatever, and you're looking for where you think it is, your mind has to be open broader than that, because it probably isn't where you think it is. It's somewhere else. But if you're looking for only one thing, like grants, people looking for a grant because they want free money. Well, the government calls grants only represent 20% of the free money that's available. So that means 80% of the free money that the government's giving out, it's not called grants. So you're going to miss that, because you're looking for what you think is there. And the world isn't like you think it is. I keep learning that already. Now, all the time, boy, at my age, I see that's the key in life. You have to learn about what the world really is, not what you think it is or not what you want it to be. The only way to take advantage of the world is using what it really is, and you have to find out what it is. We have a preconceived notion about what all this stuff is and what it should be and how it should be and everything. And that's usually wrong. A few times maybe it is, like a clock's right twice. That's broke, a clock is right twice. So that's why you have to be flexible, and be patient and listen. That's how you get the best stuff. You listen to people. You don't say, hey, give me this, I want this. No, you listen to people. And you just say your problem. Say, hey, I have a problem with this. I can't pay my rent or anything. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. And you just talk to them. I mean, they're the people that particularly we give you that are people there to solve your problem. I mean, we have a third of everything in our country is financed by the whole country to solve problems in America, right? So if you have a problem with housing, you have a problem with making income, you have a problem with healthcare, you have a problem getting educated, all these things. Well, we've set up, and through democracy, supposedly, right or wrong, we have all these things that have been voted on in our system, and it's there to help you. So we have all these people sitting there to help you solve those biggest problems in life. Now, if you're sitting there and have a perception of what you think life should be and what you like it to be, well, it probably isn't that way. So you have to go out and be what's called a scout. Like a scout in the military, the old cavalry movies, they sent out a scout, an Indian scout, to learn where all the people were that they were going to fight and all that kind of stuff. And they come back and tell the general, whatever, okay, here's what we got to do. They got a hole over here. We can do this and that. Okay, they just don't barge in and say, hey, I'm going to kill y'all. No, I think that's what Russia did, right? That didn't turn out too well for them. They didn't have enough scouting. See, they believed that how it was, how they thought it should be, or what their perception of was. Maybe the last war they fought, which was 10 years ago or something like that. So things have changed. So that's what you have to do. You have to go out there and find out what that world is, and use that. But learning that means keeping your mind open, asking general problems. You call these people that are there to help you solve a financial problem, whatever it is, and say, I need help. You don't say, I want a grant for $20,000 to do this. No. I mean, sure, you may be, and there may be one exactly like that you want, but you're going to miss too much. And it's a low success rate of doing that. A higher success rate is you go to those people who are in business and get paid already. They get grant money to help you for free. They're out there, sitting there, just to help you, waiting like them. I always my vision was like, I don't know if you're old enough to remember the Maytag repairman. There were commercials, I don't know, about like 60s or something like that. I think the Jesse White would play them. He'd be sitting there, in his mechanic's outfit and his feet on the table and waiting for the phone to ring because he's a Maytag repairman, and nobody ever calls him. That's a cute little ad. So that's what I think. Bureaucrats are, but no. I mean, sure, there's some like that. We got lazy assholes all over. They're not immune from that. And they're there. You have to figure out what they're doing, how to use them. They have a lot of money to give out, a lot of help to give out, because so much of the help isn't even money. If somebody's going to pay your bills, they're not going to give you a grant to do it, but shit, they get them paid. That's the important thing. So the important thing is that you find these people and you say, you need help, and that's how you do it. And when they say they can't help you, well, then say, who do you think can? Because see, they're in the business of helping people with your kind of problems. That means if they've been in it for a while, they go to seminars, they go to conferences, they meet other people. They've talked to 100 people like you every day, probably. And they know how other people solve those problems, okay? That's what you have to do. That's what it is. That's why you got to have a good set of ears. That's why Obama had big ears, didn't he? So you got to have those big ears to listen. But we all think we know the world. We all think we're smarter than everybody else, and we're fucking not. Because the world keeps changing every day. And that's the problem I found in finding a new way to earn a living in the last 10 years was that I learned before and selling books and everything, all of a sudden nobody buys books anymore, particularly reference books. Oh, there's an internet. Nobody has a reference. But there was something there, and I finally found it after years and years of doing it. Well, that's what you have to do, man. The problem you have with your life didn't happen overnight, so you're not going to solve it overnight. If you're in debt up to your keister or have a shitty job or whatever, no, you've been wallowing in that and going down that path for a long time because you didn't have a good alternative. And so you can't, and I got to flick a switch and the perfect thing is, no, life is creating. You have to be an artist and take your own life and make something out of it, and some things will work for you, a lot of things won't. So you piece together those good parts and make a good life for yourself. Nobody can make a life for you, because we're all too different. We all have different needs and everything. And thinking there's some magic formula for everything. No, the magic formula is within you. And that's why you got to listen to this guy, not the tits, the heart. Where's that? Over here. Yeah. And that's what you got to do, because that knows what's good for you better than some expert, okay? And that's why, push comes to shove or anything, it's you have to please, and you have to listen inside. You have to take both, outside and inside. The problem is we think is all the answers are outside because we don't know the answer. So if we don't know the answer to something and don't know what to do, we'll go to an expert. Oh, tell me what to do, and I'll give you a lot of money, and it doesn't work. Once in a while it does, of course, and that's a numbers game. But you have to build that. You take a little piece here, a little piece there, and build it up for that. Boy, it's no chats. Well, I used to get questions. I don't know why I don't have questions. Oh, what do we got here? Anybody there? Maybe you don't hear me. Is that it? Or I didn't press some button that there was no questions. Is that what's going on? I even can't find out where to do the streaming. Where is the streaming? Streaming. Where is it? Why is it? Well, oh yeah, okay, there. Oh, okay, we do have questions. Good. Okay, where are the? So we are still alive. I just maybe I'm talking to the light bulb. I've had smaller audiences before, but that's it. I mean, nothing's perfect, and you have to follow your heart, because once you do that, long time watcher, first time commenting. Oh, thank you, Jenna. I've been a long time, man. I'm such an old fart. I feel like older than dirt. Ever think about how old I'm? 79. Wow. That's a long time. But it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't feel like I can't wait to get up every day and do what I do. And that's because I found something I think is important to do. Did you give out a website to apply for the grant? Yes, my grant is at lescohelp.com. Okay, and that's due. The deadline is October 4th. Okay, we give $40,000 out every month now. And we've been doing it for a year or so we've given out over $400,000. And by the way, a lot of people don't collect it. Now, what's a lot? I'm not really sure, but like 10, 20% of the people aren't collecting their money. So if you applied for a Lesco Help grant, check to see if you're a winner. We have money sitting here for people. And we only keep it for about 60 days, yeah? So we have the contract information you gave us, but for some reason, people, I don't know. And that's why another thing I think that people are so in rush, oh, I'm going to apply this one, and you forget about the whole goddamn thing, or whatever, you're on to something else, doesn't work, okay, but, and that's why you have to be, to make anything work, it takes time, it takes pressure, it takes focus, and it's like, if it's your love, like love, or whatever, you're making love to somebody, boy, I mean, it's nice to go through the process, right? Not just bim bam, thank you, ma'am. I mean, at certain times in life, I guess that's worthwhile. But really, and what you're doing with your life, are there any grants to help me with personal credit and business credit? Yes. And what to do is, see, the first thing you do with those personal credit and business credit is contact people There's people on both sides. Personally, you go to hud.gov, and make an appointment with a free financial counselor. You know that? Free financial counselor, hud.gov. Look at the internet right now, hud.gov. When you get that hud.gov, you put in counselors, find a couple in your area, apply to all of them, make appointments to all of them. They're all free, okay? So that's the way for credit, okay? Because you don't want to go looking for a grant yet until you get somebody to understand what your whole problem is. There's other ways to get rid of that, and that's the important thing. What is the name of your site? Again, please, Lesco, Lesko, help, HELP.com, lescohelp.com. And that's where you sign up and you're able to apply for our grant. It says, I first subscribed to you in 20, I helped me get this free, and even though I haven't received any yet, what? Okay, well, received any yet, I really believe I'm about to hit it. Yes, thank you, Ernie. Yeah, I mean, it does. It takes some work. You know, everything in life does, and that's the problem. We want it really fast or whatever. And what we're doing now, and Lesco Help, it's only $20. You know, and there's nowhere else in the world. I mean, I used to charge thousands and thousands for this kind of stuff. Somehow we did it, and we're able to make a profit, and that's what our grants are. The profits we make every month, we give back to members. So we give, $40,000 a month. About 70 members will have the drawing. And all you have to do is write one sentence on what you would do with $1,000. That's all you have to do. What you would do with $1,000. That's all. Easiest grant on the internet. Put in your email. That's it. You're a member, so we know you, we find you, and let you know. And we close it every month. We have them. So this month closes October 4th. Then we start another one, October, November. We'll have one November 4th. Okay. And then it usually takes about 2 weeks for us to process them all, and then we hand out the money. It's very easy on our part, and it's such a joy. People tell us how much. I mean, it's not big money, but $500 or $1,000, but it means a lot to people, who are struggling every day, and that's what we want to do. It's amazing how many sites there are with resources of free education, which I really love. Yes, and right now there's more free education now than everything, especially job training. If you don't have a good job now, you have no excuse not to get a better one and have the government pay for it. You hear that? There's no excuse for you not to get a better job and have the government pay for it. But the problem is people want to go, I want to just give me that website and I'll apply and go. No, it doesn't, because everywhere is different. And the programs are different everywhere, and the requirements are different everywhere and everything. So you have to go through the process. And then there's probably a dozen places, sort of like rent program. Now we had a national emergency rental assistance, okay? Now that's already, they ran out of money in some states. Other states it didn't run out of money. But I was just answering a question from a member right before I went on the air about how they said they ran out of money and they need rental assistance. Well, there's probably a dozen to 24 other places in every state that give out rental assistance besides the national program. The national program is only one program, and that's called the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And you could go and find your local office for that by going to your state housing finance agency. But again, that's only one. So if they don't have money, then you go to places like 211.org or findhelp.org. Excuse me, I got a little thing in my throat. And you put in rent and you call everyone. This is how you do it. This is how you do research. You don't say, I want this one, they don't have it, and they say there's no more money, and you go home. No, you got to scratch, and you got to dig into this stuff. And you call those people. What do you do when you call them? You say, hey, I'm screwed. I can't pay my rent. You guys got help? And they say, no. Well, then you say, where else do you think I could go to get help with my rent? Because see, they're in that business. They know other people. They should, maybe not. So then if that next one doesn't work, you go to the next one. What is the best place to look for assistance moving out of state? I think if you put a mask on and get a gun No, it depends. There are programs for moving out of state. There are some, and the best place to start for something like that is in your career one-stop. In other words, what they do, your Department of Labor wants you to have a job. So if you have a job opportunity in another state, then that's a possibility. That they have money to help you get to that job, even though you're not going to live there anymore. Fine. Another thing too is there are a lot of states now that want you to come to their state. And cities and things like that. There's about 70 or 80 of them. Let me get, if I could get that. 70, 80 that give you like $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 to move to their city and work there. Either freelance or get a job there. They just need people. See, we need people. This is how people are trying to get. Let's see, move. I'm gonna put it in my database there. That was the wrong one. Oh, no wonder I got the wrong site. Well, you see, an old guy like me, you do things too fast, it really screws up. Okay, so I answer questions like this all day, give the websites to people. 75 cities right now where you could get up to $20,000 to move there. Okay, 75 cities. You realize that? 75 cities. Okay, here, makemymove.com. Okay, M-A-K-E, M-Y-M-O-V-E.com. Okay, they have moving. That's the website where they have all the cities now that are given. Like Morgantown, they'll give you $20,000 to move. Augusta, Georgia, $15,000. I think this is Casper, Wyoming, $5,000. See, you already live in these qualifying. What if you already live? Well, I guess you can't move there. Go across state and come back. I don't know. You got to find something else. And the other kinds of things is there's emergency money for everything, for anything actually, in every state. And it's usually, there's a half a dozen offices in every state that has emergency money or know about it. A good place to start for something like this is your Community Action Agency, or go to go to 211.org or findhelp.org and put in financial assistance, and then you'll see the programs that give out financial assistance for anything, paying bills, whether it's moving or whatever. And no matter what it says, ask. I need a business grant in Southern California. Yes, there's lots of grants, but the trick about getting a business grant is don't ask for a business grant. You hear that? Don't ask for a business grant. Yeah, because it's too complicated and it's too easy for them to say no. Particularly, remember I told you 80% of the money the government gives out to anybody is not even called grant, so you're going to miss that. And then it doesn't. You think you need a grant. There's so many ways to do these things nowadays that I think you'll give up too easy and not start your business when you could start it so many other ways that you don't even know of yet. And there's so much help now. I mean, see, now I just read, and I'm going to talk about this in another video later today, is how the training people that train for workers are training people to start businesses, okay? So they have training to start a small businesses. So how would you think of it starting going into your state Department of Labor, your Career One-Stop Center? Go to the Career One-Stop Center and say you want to start a business, because they also know of other programs to give you money to live on while you start a business, see? So that's sort of cool too. So not only to help you start your business, they give you money to live on to start a business. Now, every program is different, every state is different, every county is different, so that's why you have to dig in your thing. Now, we can't keep up on all that stuff. We don't have all the programs where you live to do this, because see, there's hundreds of thousands of programs all over. And what we do is show you where in your city are most likely to be the programs to solve that problem. And after 40 or 50 years of doing this stuff, I know that stuff pretty well. So that's what we do. And everybody who joins gets an automatic copy of what's called or mini grant report, 500 mini grants for your state, and it's broken down by subject where you have to pay your bills and debt problems or business or education, training, healthcare, legal, senior stuff, all kinds of stuff. It's all broken down there for you to use, and it's a shopping list. That's what you need. You need shopping lists because it's sort of like looking for a date. Well, I can't get you a date. I could show you where the single women or men are for you to ask to see if you want a date. See, if it's up to you. You have to make that connection and see if it makes sense and makes sense to them and you, to get together and do this. Now that's it, because otherwise you don't have much options. It's either me, Google, or not doing anything, right? And you go to Google, that's second to not doing anything because you'll be going there for the next 2 years and still not do anything because everything you find will be people that want to charge you money. So to me, what my dream was, and I finally have made it, is to have a place to go to find out about getting help in life from people who never charge you money. We charge money. We charge you $20. So it's $20 a month if you want to stay around. And so we charge $20, and you can ask us 100 questions a day if you want, and you're eligible to apply for our $40,000 a month grant. And also we give free live video grant training workshops. We got 3 or 4 a week now that we're giving. So you could hop on those and learn from other people or whatever. Keep your $20. Simply great. Yeah, it may not be for everybody. Yeah, you keep your $20 if you don't want to do this. That's fine. And that's why if it's not what you want, we'll always give you your money back. That's not. I don't want to argue. Why argue for $20? Too many problems to solve, and that's the important thing. That we help people show what's there. You don't need help. A lot of people don't. You have money, and you could pay somebody to do this. Fine. I used to do that, and I used to charge $10,000 to do it. I just think there should be something in America where people who don't have money could learn about what's available in this country for anybody. No matter who you are. This is a democracy. Like Donald Trump made a fortune on government money programs for housing. That's how he did. And actually, I just wrote up something yesterday. I don't know if you remember, but his course he gave on real estate course, he had to pay back $25 million basically because they said it was a fraud. He didn't produce what he said he was going to produce, and he lost $25 million to people who went to Trump University, and that's it. And now there's more scammers out there than anybody. So that's why, and particularly in work I'm doing in government grants, because it gives people hope. So people will play off your despair and say, I could do this. People even say they're me because they know, that maybe a lot of people know of me or whatever, and they say they're me. They grab my icon somewhere. They charge you $5,000, $500 or something. If you think it's me, if it's more than $20, it's not me. And that's it. Y'all be smart. Ask here. Has anyone here today have gotten anything from following this guy? Well, if you remember, you could see like 500 people who got it in the last year that are members of Lesco Help. Yeah, I mean, no, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you think. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to change anything. And if you don't want it, don't. I mean, and if you don't want to do work, then that's even more so don't, because it takes effort. You don't want to play. That's okay. And then actually somebody will now come up in the chat and say they're me and that they'll help me, give me your phone number and I'll tell you, or call Charlie on Instagram or some shit like that. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. There's too many more important things to do. Sunfi, Sean, please leave him alone. Better ways of addressing. Thank you, Jenna. Yeah, that's the world we live in, unfortunately. I brought I bought his glass. Oh, you did good. You found the place. They're cheap as hell. The glass, putting the glasses in was the expensive part. But more importantly, that the help that's out there. I mean, like now, I'm going to do another video on this. Hope today. The government just passed another law that an extra $1 billion for people to pay their energy bills during the winter now, because they didn't have a budget and was going to go out of business. And just like 2 days ago, they had passed $1 billion for you to pay utility bills. Okay. Now you may or may not know that. You may have called up last week. They said they don't have any money or whatever. And you may have called them somewhere that this is different money that's somewhere. So it's a little complicated out there. So what you know is probably true, but not true everywhere. And that's the thing. And the only way you know for sure is to do the due diligence to make sure. And that's the important thing, that you make sure that you cover all your bases, and you have to know the bases to cover. So that's what we do. Here are all the bases to cover, the most likely places for you to get help with utility, to pay your utility bills, and it's all from public money, and none of this money is money you have to pay back. Remember that. Do not have to pay back. Do not pass go. Do not, and that's important to people. That's any of these grants you have to pay back? Of course not. And that's what we're trying to do, is show people. I don't believe I should be doing this. I think the government should be doing this, but they'll never get around to it. And that's too bad. Because the people who do are trying to rip you off. And that's. I just think it should be free, but I'm not going to live that long. There's just too many things. And by the way, I mentioned earlier about if you don't have a good job, you have no excuse not to have one nowadays. There's so much money piling in there for you to train you. There's other programs that will not only train you for free, but to give you money to live on for free. They'll even train you to start a business for free. Now, they're different all over. That's why you'll call one place, oh, I know that's not well. Well, that's like saying every blonde woman is a stupid or something like that. No, that may be not there in that program. For you, it doesn't mean it's not there. For you to use. It's somewhere else. And that's what life is. Look at the internet. We got 200 billion websites, or 2 billion, I don't even know anymore. And the problem is you're trying to find something on those billions of websites. All but a handful are just there to make money from you. So that's why you go to the internet and Google or whatever, and you put in job training or something like that, or grants for business or whatever. 99, 44, 100% of people are going to be there to want your money. They want your money. That's why, because they have to pay Google money. Any links to apply? What do I search? Depends on what. Hey, I'm still struggling since March 2020. Well, I think the best thing to do if you're struggling, particularly with income kind of stuff, is the first place you want to go is you go to your Career One Stop, careeronestop.org. Spell that out, C-A-R-E-E-R, C-A-R-E-E-R, Career One Stop, ONESTOP.org, O-R-G. Okay, and put in your zip code and make an appointment. See, it's all about talking to people. It's not about going to the internet and filling out forms. No. The real help and to really understand the system is about you getting on the phone, talking to people who know about this stuff. And if they can't help you, then you say, where else can I go? See, remember the people I'm talking to you about and showing you, and they're in every country, whatever, every county, every city, state, whatever, are there to help you with that problem, and that's my VA and local employment office. Well, I don't know if you've been there or not, but they're bases you got to touch. And for the VA, what you do is you go to your county veteran service office. County Veteran Service Officer. Google that and find the .org or .gov for a County Veteran Service Office for you where you live. So put in your county, right? So you live in Montgomery County, so you put in Montgomery County Veteran Service Office, okay? Do that, call them up, And here's what you do. You make an appointment to talk to somebody. So you explain to them what your problem is, okay? Now, they've heard this 1,000 times, and because of that, they're up the learning curve. You're going up the learning curve first. So you're going to fall on your ass a whole lot of times. You want to find people who've gone up that learning curve, because the more you fall on your ass, the more you're going to quit. And you can't. The name of the game is not quitting. That's all. You don't have to know what to do. You just have to know not to quit. So how do you get there fastest is by using people that already knows the system. And one person doesn't know everything, so that's why you call one. That doesn't work. You call the next one. That doesn't work. Do you have any other suggestions? Until you start digging. And now it's different skills. It's not learning the internet. It's learning how to treat people. And that's what it's all about, because they can help you for free for 2-3 weeks and come and clean your windows too if you want, and they'll get the same paycheck. Or they can hang up on you if you're a pain in the ass, and they get the same paycheck. So somebody on Google that you talk to who wants your money, they're going to kiss your ass until you give them money. So that's a nicer experience for you. But if you don't have money, then it's not for you at all. Done that twice, and after the DR visits, I am still waiting for 6 months. I'm not sure what you did twice. I'm on a career one-stop now. What do I do next? You put in your zip code because you want to find your local office, okay? And then when you find your local office, you make an appointment with a counselor. Okay, make an appointment with a counselor to talk to somebody about your careers. I mean, there's so much grant money out there. There's so many other programs. Also, other nonprofits are doing the same thing where you live. Not only is the Career One Stop doing it, but there's probably a half a dozen or a dozen nonprofits doing the same thing. Like training you for free, giving you money to live on while you do that and everything, no matter what your background, whether you're incarcerated or no degree or whatever. Yeah, especially now without a degree, there is so much money being put into people getting the skills and training they need to get a good job without a degree. So you don't have to go back to college to do this, okay? Thank you. I have a truck. I'm looking for grants to help. Yeah, Tisha, what to do is go what's called Community Navigators. Community Navigators, go to sba.gov, and look for Community Navigators. Those people help businesses start, expand, whatever. They get grants from the government to help you succeed and grow your business or even start a business. There's dozens of them in every city, Community Navigators, but they don't advertise like that in Google, so you don't find them, okay? So that's the thing. I went to disability appointment rating that I didn't ask for. I went for a disability appointment rating that I didn't ask for. I'm not sure what that means, Gabriel. Sorry. Well, I'm ready to learn. Good. Thanks, Tricia. Do you know any grant sites that will help with cybersecurity? Well, I mean, if you want to train in cybersecurity, I kept running into that all the time. There's got to be a dozen places in most every city that will train you for free in cybersecurity. And it's only a couple months training. That's all you need. And then you got your foot in the door and you're on your way. And a lot of these things will even give you money. It's the same it doesn't matter what city or town or state you're in. The same kinds of programs will just be called something different. So you have to figure this out. Whitley, bless you for helping someone. Thank you I think in New Orleans. I'm reading some of the comments here to make sure, if I can, I'll cover, try to help with specific questions. But it's important, I think, that it's a resource. And remember, it's going to take some work on your part. What happens is we're all lazy, right? That's our instincts. And we're not satisfied because we're going by too fast. See, even with the boring stuff and the things that are not happy, you could get a lot of pleasure out of doing that if you're not rushing to a goal. If you're talking to somebody and want help and you say, "Oh, hurry up, give me. Where do I apply? Where do I apply?" You're not being so nice to that person. They're not having a nice experience, and neither are you. Or they gave info. Just turning in. Have you already given it? Yes, it's you have to join Lesco Help, and it's lescohelp.com to apply for the grant. lescohelp.com. And that's where you get that. um, and, and it's $20, and that's a service. But see, with the $20, now you get a chance to apply for that. You could keep applying till you get it. Once you get it, then we want to give other members a chance. And then you also get to ask questions every day. You can ask 100 questions a day. We don't care how many times. And that's why after I finish this video, I'm going to sit down and start answering questions from people who on our groups ask a question. Where do I get money to fix up my house? Where do I get money to pay my utility bills? Where do I get money to start? And then I send you listings and websites of the places where you live in your state, in your city. And it won't be just one or two, and that's why these are all the places you have to touch base to see if what will work for you there. Again, I see that at your cleaning store, where is the grant? I'm listening, but I don't hear the grant info. Well, I've been talking for 40 minutes. The grant info is at lescohelp.com. That's where it's for members. It's for members of Lesco Help, and that's $20. If you go to lescohelp.com and apply, sign up. And we're on Facebook, and we have Lesco Help 2. We have 2 programs. And oh my God, get to it. And what they are places where you can ask questions from me and the staff, where to find money on anything. And then also, what's neat about that, other members help. Actually, we're getting so many members that are helping other people get money. They tell them how they just applied for a grant and got this, and here's what they did or whatever, because every state is different. So they're becoming more important than I am, and our other admin people, because they're in the trenches filling out the forms. And that's what you want to know, because that's where you are. Cool time to cut some lawns, to add some cash to my debt card. Cool. Yeah, depending on where you live, if it's around here, it's not good to cut lawn today. But no, I'm used to it. And there's a program at the Department of Agriculture for lawnmower service businesses. But even no matter what kind of business like that, you have any legal problems, technical problems, accounting problems, or anything, you go to those people called community navigators, and they help you for free without that. You have credit problems, all that kind of stuff. I'm from Liberia. I need a grant for school. Okay, it depends on where you're going to school, in Liberia or here. For here, then yes, there are lots of potential sources. Where's the best place to start? Well, I would go to your Career One Stop, because they're trying to get everybody's career going. Whether you go to school, not school, they have training there. They give you grants for training, higher education, all those kinds of things. It's mostly for job training, but also higher education, and they do have information about that. And also, if you want to go to school in the United States, start at the community college level. Everything else is not worth the money to me, mine, but we all have. You spend your money where you want to. But if you don't have money, I'm in Georgia and going to contact the SBA and see about the business grant for my photography. But no, you don't call the SBA and see about your business grant for photography. You call the SBA, SBA.gov, and you look for community navigators. So go to SBA.gov, look for community navigators. And you find the community navigators. There'll be a half a dozen. You call as many as you can in Georgia there and make an appointment, and you ask for help. Do not go there and ask for a grant, because they'll tell you there isn't, and there are, but they just don't know them. And so you're going to give up and call me an asshole and whatever. No, you ask for help and start learning the system and getting that help, okay? So do not ask for a grant when you're looking for a business grant. Sounds stupid, I know, but this is the only way I could think of to help you get through the system. Because if you ask for a grant, you'll get no from 2 or 3 people and say, oh, there's no grants. And that is absolutely crazy. Look at my past videos and you'll see dozens and dozens and dozens of small business grants, and there are new ones coming up every day. So you can't. And that's just the way life is. Why is it that way? Well, it's not fake news. It's just don't know. The world's too big to know everything, man. Nobody can know everything, you know. So that's the important part, okay? So if you're interested in my stuff, lescohelp.com, okay? Lescohelp.com. The deadline is October 4th, okay? Deadline is October 4th for the grant for lescohelp.com, okay? And so make sure you see that. It's at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so you want to do that? And I'll be back up tomorrow. I'll do something. I had a flu or something last couple of days. Wasn't feeling too well. I think it. Anyway, I even got outside yesterday. Has anyone here even gotten a thing from this phone? Oh, simply seen. Well, I don't know if they did. And if they did or not, I don't know if that means anything. But if it does to you, more power to you. Nope, not yet. Good. Okay. Take care.